journey.
A delegation from the GAA appeared before the Oireachtas Transport and Communications Committee today and told the committee that they were advised by Dublin City Council that the council would support all 5 Garth Brooks concerts. The committee also heard about last-ditch attempts to try and save the concerts. In his opening statement, the Director General of the GAA, Pádraig Duffy, began by explaining the overwhelming and unexpected response to the Garth Brooks concerts.
This was simply a case where a public reaction utterly defied logic and conventional wisdom. Within 2 hours, 3 concerts had sold out, and an incredible total of 240,000 tickets were sold. What had simply been a concert became a national event. What had simply been a night out became an unmissable national celebration.
Then he insisted that they were advised by Dublin City Council that the council would support the 5 days of Garth Brooks concerts.
That at no stage was there ever even a hint that a licence would not be granted for all 5 concerts. Indeed, prior to the submission of the draft event management plan for the concerts and the application for an event licence, the Croke Park Stadium director, Peter McKenna, received a phone call from Owen Keegan, Chief Executive of Dublin City Council, who was returning a call by Mr McKenna to Mr Keegan. In their phone conversation, Mr Keegan advised Peter McKenna that Dublin City Council would support a licence application for all 5 concerts. Mr Keegan asked Peter McKenna to make the decision-making process as easy as possible for DCC.
He also had strong criticism of the council's handling of fraudulent objections.
Given that Dublin City Council was clearly influenced by the vociferous campaign waged by a small minority to block the concerts, a campaign waged heavily in national media and of which Dublin City Council was clearly aware, as their own submission yesterday acknowledges, and given that there was incontrovertible evidence of fraudulent submissions objecting to the granting of 5 licences, surely Dublin City Council should have been alerted to the fact that their own licensing process was being seriously manipulated and distorted by people opposed to the 5 concerts.
Concert promoter Peter Aiken also said the council had not indicated there would be any problem with the 5 shows.
Our focus throughout all formal and informal contacts with Dublin City Council and all statutory agencies was to deliver above and beyond the standard requirements and practice to ease the impact of 5 concerts in recognition of the unique circumstances of the event. There was never discussion on the number of shows being reduced, only on the impact that 5 nights would have. I accept the procedure and the elements of the process were correctly followed, but I feel that the decision-making process was not reasonably balanced or fair and that the decision was wrong. I am fully aware in the licence application process for concert that there is no recourse for review or appeal against the licence issued by Dublin City Council. However, this has been an extremely frustrating position being left during the last few weeks, considering the events that have come to light, specifically that some of the objections lodged to the Council are being investigated as fraud.
The committee's chair, Fine Gael Deputy John O'Mahony, put it to the delegation that their assertion that the council advised them they would support the 5 shows was the opposite of what the council told them yesterday.
Your presentation, your evidence here this morning clearly states that verbal assurances were given by the city manager that 5 concerts would be supported by Dublin City Council. Now, that's obviously in totally direct contravention of what was given, at odds with what was given to us here yesterday. I mean, have you any other evidence to confirm your assertion in this? Or, I mean, I suppose the question the public will be saying, who are we to believe here?
But Croke Park Stadium director Peter McKenna insisted they had been given the assurance.
We talked about it. He said that the city would be very supportive of the 5 concerts. He wanted us to make the process easy for him. He said, make One Direction happen well, and put all the additionality you can into the applications. And we said we can guarantee that we will put our absolute best foot forward on it. We finished the call off. I was absolutely ecstatic. And to show that with the individual in the office, and from then on we were certain that we were going to get 5 licences. Now, I know it's very, very dramatic, but I'd be very happy to swear an affidavit and let that here in front of this committee. I'm not certain of the telephone conversation.
Mr Aiken was also highly critical of the way the objections were handled.
That the basis of this decision was made on maybe 40% fraudulent claims. You know, on the basis of like even the ridiculous situation of the High Court injunction. Some fella gets 15 grand from, he doesn't know where he gets it from. Maybe somebody from the north gave it to him and he got a brand new suit. I mean, this is all reported in the paper. It's like an episode out of Father Ted, this whole thing. You know, and with serious consequences to me.
Fine Gael Senator Eamon Coughlin asked Mr Aiken if there was any possibility the shows could be saved.
I know the boat left the United States and is probably in Rotterdam or somewhere.
Antwerp.
Where is it now?
Antwerp.
In Antwerp. Well, at this point in time, is there any way we can finish this potential movie, Licence to Sing, to save the concert at this stage? Is there any real potential? I know Gareth said 5 or nothing.
But he's not going to, I mean, that's his statement. He won't do a concert and then leave 80,000 people outside. He wouldn't do it.
No, the point is, can we save all 5?
At this stage, if somebody pulled the switch, we could do it.
Can we get someone to pull the switch?
I don't know how you do that. I've been down every avenue that's open to me, and everywhere I met, I came up that brick wall. It's always, I can't do it.
Peter McKenna explained to Senator Sean Barrett that an uncontested judicial review was the only way forward.
The concerts could go ahead, subject to the artists, and Peter saying the artists okay, is we had an uncontested judicial review this afternoon. That means getting the President of the High Court to sit and that there's no objection to the 5 concerts going ahead. That would be
require the City Council to agree, wouldn't it? And they're not willing to agree. Yeah.
Uncontested judicial review.
Fianna Fáil Deputy Timmy Dooley asked if all other options had been explored.
There may be an option, subject to legal advice, where the Minister for the Environment could use the statutory instrument process, because some of the legislation here, as it relates to the licensing, is actually provided for in secondary legislation. So therefore, perhaps there's something that could be done there. But the one you've just answered the question that I was going to ask. The judicial review seemed to me, for the last couple of days, as the best option. But Mr Keegan made it very clear that they would vigorously contest that. You know, maybe when you've gone, we can have a discussion amongst ourselves to see how we might be able to.
If he had made the decision 2 months ago, we could have gone to court. But he knew.
Yeah.
Well, not that he knew, but he knew that I couldn't, because I asked him would he do a non-contest judicial review, and he said no.
Yeah, no, I find that really difficult to understand, considering that he was prepared to give you one extra concert, recognising now the massive impact. I mean, it's not the ideal way to do business, but, you know, I hate that phrase, we are where we are, but unfortunately, we are.
There were lively exchanges during leaders' questions today between the Taoiseach